Hey, how you doing, guys? So welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a retrograde reading. So there's a retrograde coming up on the 29th of the month all the way to the 29th of July. So it's going to be a whole month of retrograde, starting from the ending of this month, which is the ending of June, 29th of June to the 29th of July. So let's get into it and find out what's going on, or just to see what it is to expect, or, is there anything to look out for? This is going to be a reading based on the general and the collective. So, if your star sign comes up and you are informed about things, then you will get more clarification in regards to where things are going for you, because this is more so based on a collective reading. So let's get into it. Doesn't say much is going on right now, but it says retrograde is brewing in the month of May energy. So if anything happens in May, it could come back around. But it says warning, not for you all that are seeking attention or looking for bad vibes. It says all those things that you witnessed in the month of May are going to allow you to move on from it. Ideally subside or move on from it. And it says, woo, people wouldn't mind speaking to you directly about things that they've gone through in their mind, about things that they've learned, heard, or seen. So it's like, well, why do I keep repeating or hearing things that other people would say or even do? And is it their energy trying to come up again? Because I wouldn't want to know this person's coming up bothering my energy. And it says she knows she doesn't need to come into the situation, hence why you've heard probably things about your own energy, but it says that energy still hasn't left the building. This is the reason why it could come up again years later, or later on, or even months later. There's still unresolved issues. It does say some of you guys are dealing with housing issues or past tense situations to do with housing, money, or property, or the love life of yours, or home or family, okay, including friends as well. Okay, it says not very long ago someone showed you who they are, but it says wind down on your mind about it. You may not need to deal with them again if they pass out of their head about things and leave you alone and get on with their life, because their personal life is at stake. And they realize that as well when they're getting on and doing certain things in their personal life. It's like you keep arguing with a person before you just get on with your life and sort out your business. Stop bothering them. You know what I mean? And it's like this person may not challenge the energies enough in themselves, but they want to challenge you though. And it says many of you could be Scorpio, Virgo, or even Taurus. Okay, some are Gemini, and some of them are Virgos and Taurus combined, because their mindset likes to tease the way around it. And it says it's not going to be easy, but Libra could be in it, and Gemini could be there with Taurus energy saying, I know that I've seen things, because this person doesn't want to see things in their own mind. They like to see it through another way of looking at things, through planetary curses of their own mind, as well as other people's mind, like Taurus, Gemini, and Virgo energy. Okay, but it says you will move on from this person and they will do no good to themselves. So they've got to look by their own mind and stop peeking in on yours, because they're too nosy. This person's very nosy. As much as they wouldn't want to know that they're coming forward now, they always come forward with their energy and being bullyish and nosy. And it says it's time you're warned to move on from their mindset. So you've been doing things in your mind to, trouble your mind away from theirs, or even to see that your mind is gently moving along because you've been struggling to come out of their energy. It says it's warned you enough to do so without the hindrance, because there's still a hindrance energy, and it could be from a mindset of a man behind your energy which is pushing you onto theirs. And it says leave them alone. Ideally it could be legal actions pending, it could be a mindset of the law, it could be a mindset of the police, maybe even protesters in their head that want to come forward because they realize they can reach out to people and start bugging you with things, maybe even looking at you and wondering why they keep bothering you so much. And then it's like a man around them as well wants to know that they can bother you with a child or a family member. It says it's not worth looking into. Let this person transgress their problems into mental health, because this person may have mental health or does have mental health, and they keep bugging you and bugging you and bugging you. But it says warning, allow them to get on with their life and move on, because they will suffer in the end. Okay, God says they will suffer in the end. Okay, and that's that. Something just came up on my feed as well in relation to biblical context. It says, but and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of the terror, neither be the trouble. Now, it says that in a warning sign for this person to move on. However, it says, don't allow them to make you feel like you're suffering for them. Allow them to suffer in their righteousness because they feel like they're doing right in whatever it is they're doing in their community to help you suffer. But it says, don't allow them to make you feel like you need to suffer. You should move forward in your righteousness and love yourself. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Give yourself that and hold that to the regard of your mindset. Okay, so that was number 1 Peter verse 34, I believe. Okay, so doesn't say anything more than that. However, it says retrograde is going to be a punishing time for some of you guys that are in the middle of righteousness right now, building a well around your mind. Somebody here doesn't like the fact that you're having too much good news. It says warning signs are there for them to believe they could have problems. Now, they know that they got problems already, but if they want more, conjuring up more is not going to be easy to bring about in the way that they see you, but they could punish you through the mind. Ideally cursing you, talking too much about you, gossiping about you, chatting about you. You know, karma could come to them through judgment of the tongue. It says they do talk a lot about you behind your back. Libra energy is there. Karma with Aquarius energy is there. And it says the karma with Aquarius energy is there because of a mindset around a man that doesn't know how to move on either. So he judges you too. But he also judges you based on the fact that you shouldn't see him, or you shouldn't see him no more, or you shouldn't have stolen from him a mindset of a man that was loving on a woman. And it says he loved a woman so much that he couldn't let go of her. However, it says his mindset knows the mind would never allow him to love this woman the way he wanted to, because he saw that people were talking about her to death do them part. And it also says why. She wanted to know that she could have good news with him. And it says these people could not be any further from the truth. They may mean a lot to you, but they don't have to have anything to do with you either. And it says karma with this because you wouldn't want to know them anymore. They could be family members of yours. It could be even people behind the scenes like police, or even I'm hearing Talanoid. I don't know why I'm hearing Talanoid. Maybe someone needs that to sleep at night, or, you know, to give themselves better news because they ain't got good news with their mind. Maybe they were taking a lot of this stuff before they died, or maybe even before they woke up in the morning time, they realized that they needed to have something to numb the pain because the sleep was causing them to ache. It's like they were having pains in their sleep. It says this person may need some Talanoid. And it also says this mindset of a man didn't know how to speak a lot because he was witnessing things with another woman. He could be even under control to speak about another woman right now. Maybe sleeping with another woman is something that he may want to do. Maybe he was sleeping with another woman and he realized that he was having pains in the night, like aching pains in his mind or even in his groin. Ideally, he could have been sleeping with the wrong one. And it does say some of you guys were holding on to negative venom around this person as well, which is not true for everybody, because it says, now you know who I am. I sold my soul to a devil. I hold on to this man having pains in his groin. And it says he knows why he didn't love me. This is where a woman comes in again and can't let go of a man. And it says this woman doesn't know how to stop picking on him. She keeps picking on him through the mindset, and she doesn't know where to go in her mind about it. And it says, I know I tell a mean story when I'm ready. She doesn't want to know that she's always gossiping, but she could be telling lies about him, or maybe even picking on his mind to get revenge. And it says, I know I was with him around the time that you was giving birth to a baby. So maybe this is all going on in the earth energy of Taurus. But it also says Capricorn is there for you to witness things in the mind. But it says only when you understand why you wasn't supposed to be born. It says only because you witness things in your mind that I shouldn't never have been there. And it says karma comes to this Virgo like this because she should never be talking to you like you're not allowed to be a prize joy on the earth. However, it says you didn't need to come about when I was pregnant in my mind. And it says all this time, these two women are arguing, fighting over the birthday of yours. Ideally, you could be a Scorpio or even a Sagittarius. For some of you guys, you are a Pisces. And some of you guys, you are Libra. And it doesn't say that you all are Geminis in the mind about this, because some of you guys are Geminis. But it says even Sagittarius or Aries could come into this and wonder why this situation pertains to them. It says it's not easy, but there's people judging you right now based on your scorpionic attitude towards life, which is to change, transform a decision that somebody made around the time of your birth, which was to lie, steal, and cheat on another person for witness protection, ideally to take care of them or for them to be taken care of through their mindset or even through their lifespan, or maybe even things that they needed in life and couldn't get from another person. Maybe the wife that was pregnant or wasn't pregnant couldn't provide, or she could provide and needed someone else to be there in her mindset while she was going through something. But it says no one was cheating is what this man says. He knows why this woman was only a liability to his mind. It says one woman was not gonna be enough for me, so I needed two. And that's where he lies again, because he likes to riddle things and play manipulative mind games. But it says, see you there, you know a lot about me. I wouldn't want to come to you and pray to God that I have good news about the situation, so I leave it out. And I believe that you have good news left out of the mindset without bad news. You could warn yourself to take a risk to see what's going on, but you would never want to find out everything to do with me. It says karma comes to this man because he's not interested in you. He's not interested in anyone around him. He doesn't want to know that he can stay and justify good news for himself. He wants himself to walk away and never have good news again. He tried to warn you that you should walk away from life, or maybe even walk away from his head, because karma came to him again before he died, that he should see himself in a problem with you. And karma came to him again when he saw he had to take away something from you. It says it's not going to be easy to take away anything from this woman after you lied. You may have played a role in the head of hers and started lying again. You may have laughed at her and made fun of her too much. You wanted her to die, did you? It says you know that you wanted her to die. Now you realize that you wished only death upon your child. It says the mind game is there to play. However, it says it's not easy to look at it in that direction, because this man may play you and play you and play you and play you. He's a karmic relationship, and he may have given your parent a karmic relationship to play in your mind. Hence why you feel stuck, burdened, or out in the cold. Maybe even feel like a bad news omen came over you, feeling like you had a death wish upon you, or maybe you wanted to kill yourself, harm yourself, hurt yourself, or rely on a mad mood to get by. It says it's not going to be easy to solve the problem overnight, because people are in the way of the subject. And even if you felt like that, it says it shouldn't have come about after you wanted to do something great for yourself. There is things that you wanted to do for yourself, to pay attention to things that were going to be good for your lifespan. It says, I warned you, I don't want you paying off any debts in life to have good news. Hence why the karmic value system came through with the Capricorn energy, saying codependency is there for you to play a role with and give yourself good news, but I would never help you. It says, I never asked you to give me a damn thing. This is where karma comes to this man again. So if he knows that he wasn't going to help you in life with anything, not a damn thing, why did he ask for you to come forward with your mind and say where it was going? Ideally from who? Because it says, even with the woman, she says she knows that she could speak to you and tell her mind off many, many times and block you with whatever it is she has and whatever he has, food, drink, and alcohol. It says, you know you shouldn't have come forward. That's his idea, though, to speak about what she wants. It says it's not true that he felt that way. And the thing is, he's a liar, because at times he had to think that way to save his mind with hers, which is idolatry or adultery, or even marriage. It says this man says he don't know why it's there, but there's marriage on the table for me. I know I'm getting married. And it says he knows he's getting married to a narcissistic witch, a woman that doesn't like war, but can't have babies or can't have children. So she wouldn't want to know another woman is going to have babies or come through with children. And it says this war has never ended from your life. Hence why you may have gone forward and saw yourself in a similar position, or not seen it at all. It says this child was ordained for me to have, wasn't it? I realize that now. I'm looking at it in the shadow side, and I can see something happening around the situation. It's like somebody didn't want me to have good news with my father, but at the same time, this person knows that they had to pretend or even answer the prayers inside them so that they could get by and get a marriage. And it says this marriage was coming into the mindset of another person that I had to entangle my mind in. And I didn't want to know that I was going to entangle my mind in it. So now I've been reaping what I sowed from my parents And I realized I'm directly in trouble in my mind. I hate that it had to come out or be on the surface, or maybe make me feel like I have problems pending or waiting, because now I'm in problems with laws in my mind, or maybe even reality, and I wouldn't want to know that it's true. But what if it came out and haunted me? It says it's never going to come out and haunt you or trouble you. It says the devil was riddled all over it for a person to not have good news. They should have never troubled you in your mind. However, it says this was a long time ago that you had a baby for someone, and the baby may not have been wanted. However, it says some of you guys are going through troubles and trauma from your past, maybe from your past life, or maybe from somebody that gave you karma in birth. Ideally, a father or a mother gave birth to you and they gave you karma with their love life issues. It says this person never meant to come forward with any problems of the Virgo. The Virgo has problems, and this person was never able to give you babies, or maybe even give your mindset a rest from the situation. It could even be a problem with you having good news, but this man could never have a baby with him or her, ideally with her, because there could be a gay or a lesbian relationship there. But it says she knows why she doesn't want to talk about it, discuss it. It's a very shameful attribute, but it says it riddles everything that you're trying to discuss or warn yourself to sort out. It says she never knew that she was meant to have good news with her mindset about another woman being pregnant for this man and have a baby with him behind her. But it says, warning, whatever happens, happens in the dark. Because at the same time, this man, he riddles the situation so much to the point you can't even understand it. Hence why he's always running. Hence why he's always laughing. Hence why he's always playing mind games. But it says, you know what? You're not always going to see a situation for how it is or what it is. You're always going to feel like it's going to work out in your favor once you get calmer or move past the situation. It doesn't say that you have to. But what if it does move past the situation in a way that you've got good news? Because no one says you've got to have bad news. You understand? So it's like, well, with that, why am I being punished on my lifespan? This was an enemy energy that came by in the months ahead. It says after he passed away, I realized I was seeing someone. I started speaking to them. I gave my karmic love to them. In fact, my love was so toxic to them, they had to fight me. Ideally, fight me away, because the karma was there for them to see somebody else or see something else. And it says this person doesn't know how to communicate that. They realize that they've got troubles in their mind with things that they didn't want. Maybe even seeing problems in their mindset with things that they do want. And it says this person didn't know they was used as a weapon to beat me. Ideally, this person was a pawn to beat me. Ideally, the next man that I fell in love with after whatever was transpiring in my dad's, maybe in my mum, but my dad, it had to be a weapon to beat me. Hence why he passed away while I was seeing this man. Okay, some of you guys may feel like there's someone that passed away in your life. It could be your father figure. It could be, someone close to you, like a father figure that passed away while you were seeing a man. And it says this man says he doesn't know why he's even come forward like that. He realized he doesn't know how to communicate the dead like that. Like he sees you and then all of a sudden you say to him, I'm passing out of my mind right now. After I didn't want to make love to you in a way that you felt like you were going to make love to me because there was karma there, I realized we fell out and I went off and I fought you in your head about it because I said, I'm never going to speak to you again, or I'm never going to see you in my mind. I feel like I need to move on because there's troubles there. It says there was a big crash in my head. I had troubles with my son telling me something. He says he's not going to murmur it again and again in his head. But it says I need to decode this situation so I can move on. It says you do not have to speak to me about it. I'm not speaking to anybody about it, is what you're saying to the energy that is stopping you from moving forward. As Scorpio and Libra try to move forward and decode things and sort things out, there's blockages. There's karma with this. It says you have to move forward with the mindsets of theirs, and it says you're not going to. Not today, Josephine. Not tomorrow. We need to solve this problem so I can move out of the drama. I don't want to be stuck in your energy field. Okay? I'm not going to stay here anymore. You keep that BS to yourself. Okay? You wanted karma for me after I dealt with somebody, okay, who was going through a similar mindset of yours at the time. It says, I know that I was witnessing things in my head to be a mindset of yours as a lover. I know you wouldn't want to know that I'm going to be a good lover to you. Hence why father figure of mine, I would not know if you know it. but I don't want you as a father figure of mine in a way that you could have romantic messages for my head. You're not a good dad. Okay? This man may not have been a good father. He may not have been a good dad to you. But it says his mental health will lead him on to remember that he could have been a better one. Well, maybe he needs to work on that, because the trouble is, why did I have to go and push forward and see better news for myself, and then you want to harm it with witchcraft? It says there's a witchcraft person around you doing bad news. Is it a relationship around your mindset to that? Is there something I need to see? Hence why I've been cursed all the days of my life now because of it. Because there's someone heavily doing witchcraft in my life. After all, you was a witchcraft man. And when I saw you and knew you, you wasn't doing witchcraft on me, was you? But at the same time, I didn't feel it the way I'm feeling it now after you've passed away. But it says it's many years after. Fair enough. I understand it's been about 2 or 3 years after, but it's very heavy on my mind. People are troubling me in ghost-like form right now. For some of you that need an exorcism, you're going through problems. Or maybe you feel jerks and shivers and shakes, or maybe even brain feelings like something's in your head, something's holding on to you. Or the devil is there, or karma is there with, Lucifer. It says, Lucifer is there in me. I'm your father. But it also says, why do you keep holding on to me, Dad? If you're really the real father, because I noticed there's a man that claims to be my father too, and he's not. He's married to my mother now. What does that even mean? It says, I know I wanted to be there with her, but even if you wanted to be there with her, why don't you show me a good attitude towards being that and stop picking on me? It says the karma is there with a father figure that's holding on to you in spirit and laughs at you overnight and day. But it says his spirit is letting go now of the problem with a personal law that he's been holding on to or held down to for a long time, which is to witchcraft his mind around a piece of land. It says this personal property of his may not come to you, but it's coming to warning another female around you. And if it does, then what? It doesn't say anything about it, so stop holding me to the stake of the business of yours. I don't want the property, Dad. And it says some of you guys will witness that you don't need to make love to a man like him or see him in your mind. However, he wanted to give you this property, but he can't. He's passed on now. And his lover never helped you get any property from his will. Hence why you're stuck again. But it says you're not stuck. He's keeping you stuck in spirit. Hence why you're fighting to move on with the love of your life or who you think could be, but he's holding on to you, grabbing attention with all his might through the things he's gone through to get you to come into this life, through marriage or through love or through sex. Okay? And it doesn't say it's a good outcome with the situation ever, but it says it has to be, because now your mindset is telling you not to speak, but a woman is ready to prepare to manipulate the situation and move on from her mind about it. She says, if I have to get sick and move on, I will. Or if I have to determine that I don't want this man anymore, I will. But it says the mindset of him will never let go of her spirit either. So therefore, he's a liar. He's been going on and on about her not moving on or letting go of him, but really he would never want to let go of her. And it says now it's coming to see who's who. Because you had a father that was holding on to a mother in spirit. He was not letting go of this woman, but he would never do right by her. He would never do right by her. So now in the retrograde energy, it says you have won. You've moved past the energy enough to see that you don't have to deal with that anymore. That's their karma. And if they keep continuing to bruise you in the mindset of theirs, that's their karma. It doesn't have to come around to you no more. He has to let go of her energy. She needs to let go of his, but he needs to stop bruising your head on hers, because your head has been bruised on hers. Hence why you don't like her more than him. However, it says you never had to deal with him much, as when he was alive or when he was around. If he's still alive right now, maybe he's alive, but he's not around you enough to show you love. But you're like, well, I don't see him enough to deal with him in a way that I've got karma around his head to say that I don't like him. Whereas the mother now, she's nasty, she's evil, she's showing me this. And it's all because of his head is what she says, but karma comes because she's got a new man that's bruising me with witchcraft. She's been troubled with witchcraft. And it says, I if I ever got a man with witchcraft, I would never want to know that I had problems with him. However, it says I don't even want to speak those words into existence. So it says whoever's troubling me now, wants to speak to me in spirit or ghost around me, it says you better remove yourself. And it says all the ancestors around this man that was your father, he would see that he has problems with this energy through her, his mother, because she's the one that likes all this witchcraft stuff more than the father. The father does a little dabbling once in a while, but he don't do it as much as the mum. The mum does it. Hence why she says, I see you as one of my children. She doesn't see you as a niece or a nephew as much as she used to, but she sees you as one of her children. But it says karma comes to her like this again, because you're not into those witchcrafty stuff the way they are. Even if you say, all right, I'm using entities for law and attraction to punish myself because I don't want to have bad news, but I'm going to get it. You would never want to say that. It says even the demons want you to say things that you should not be saying, or you should not want to even say, or you would not want to say. It says they keep trouble in your mind and you need to get out of it and run. It says the karma is with them right now, burdening their law of attraction to get rid of you. It says, hence why I put Sean in your life to beat you. This is where it goes wrong. For some of you guys dealing with a Sean, some of you guys dealing with a planetary curse around a man that's called Sean, Shane, Shameless for some of you guys, Shannon. I'm hearing there's a Shannon, Shook or Shaluk, Shulk. It could be, like some type of foreign name. Seamus is one of them that has come up, but it says some of you guys are dealing with a man like that, and he does know that he has Irish in his chart as well. Some of you guys got Irish bloods or Irish background. It says this person never knew how to come forward to you in your mind. He never knew how to come forward, but he's gonna deal with things in the background to see that he doesn't come forward again. He's shameful about a situation and he will move on. It says it's a bloodline trauma from years ago. Okay, you lot should not be going through that anymore. He has problems and he will move on from it today. In fact, now that you've recognized him as Shameless, or Seamus is his name, it says he's got to move on, with Luke in his mind as well. Matthews 27, it could be something around those lines that he wants to speak to you about if you go and look up Matthews 27. And then there's 18 karmic values in his heart that he needs to solve with probably his bloodline, but it says probably his mind telling him he knows he's got to go through things, and he's written them down as well. He knows he's got to study his mind around that, but he will let you go because it's not allowed to drag out any longer, especially if you know what's going on. It's like, well, I don't do that voodoo stuff. I don't do that witchcraft stuff. I don't want to know. Do you understand? And I don't want to know your name any more than I have to, Seamus, okay? But I want you to let me go, okay? All right. Now, it says some of you guys are going to look at things in a different perspective from here on out. You will see better news in your mind. After all, you're not going to witness things in your mind about it, but a child around you wants you to. And it says he's going to go through a bad omen one day with these things in his head if he doesn't let go, because he's got karma with you through your mind and your bloodline. However, it says he's not going to see things in a way that's going to serve him good news. So he's got to try and trouble your head around the situation or with the situation. But it says you're lucky I'm your mum. Because you see this energy right here is trying to drag you down a long road of problems or shame or embarrassment. But it says you will deal with Shameless. How about that? Would you like that? Haha. Now you can turn around and have him Shameless. Should I pass the bloodline on to him? Because he doesn't want to let go of my head, and I don't want you on my head or him. So should he get the energy? And it doesn't say that Shameless wouldn't want to take on the energy. But why would you want to pass it on? Because this child is nasty. He's a narcissistic loser in his head. And he's a narcissistic problem to you. So therefore, he needs to punish his mind on why you would pass the buck on to him. He wouldn't like it very much at all. But he has to witness things in his head in a way that you did or worse. And that way, he has problems to solve in his mind. Hence why it says you're a parent of love. I wouldn't want to know that you're harmed. No, you want to harm me through my mindset or things that I'm going through. You hold on to other people's energies to harm me. Hence why you're with somebody that I don't like now, and you're using that energy to harm me. And I don't like it. And it says trouble is that his water sign energy in his chart is not punishing him enough. Hence why he needs to be used in his mind with his name. And it says he's got names that are related to the ocean or the sea, or even to things that he wouldn't mind seeing in his mind. It says the trouble is he can't understand why he's going to get there, though. Like why it would happen to him. It says, warning, time will tell. You will get there enough. You've got water in your chart through the mindset of the woman that you live by. She's got a lot of water in her chart. In fact, she's got a lot of water to bear. You give her some of her own mind or her own time, she'll give you enough trouble back in return. Or hence why she will not see it in you, but it would just come about. Okay? It says no one's going to trouble you more than you trouble yourself in your mindset with a high minded person. This person wants to come forward and speak to you. He may see you as a troublemaker or not so interested in him. He may like you a lot, but he's not really wanting to know that you could speak to him directly. However, it says you're not going to have to deal with him in retrograde. You just got to move on and allow him to, let the situation unfold, because it's not even about him in this reading or in the situation. Just let him know that he needs to move along. Okay. Now it says only if you witness things in your mind a lot more than you need to, you'll see better news for your family members and friends. Okay, because there's family members and friends that wouldn't mind seeing you in this mindset throughout the retrograde, which is to probably give yourself good news or bad news in a situation. Hence why you said the good news suits me better and the bad news is suiting them better to have for you. But it says it's warning them to move on because they can't find you in your mind about it. They can't give you bad news. They can't warn themselves to give you bad news, and they can't trouble themselves to give you bad news. So they've got to move on. Now, when they see themselves in a problematic situation again, they realize that they're not going to come forward in their mind to help you. But it says you will have wishes that you've conjured up all on your own. And these things will come about in a way that you've passed them. It says you'll pass a test with this. You'll give yourself good news in love and marriage. And you'll also give yourself good news in money. These are the two things that are coming up on your agenda right now. Love and marriage and money. Okay. Prosperity and wealth. It says all these things are coming to pass. You will see them happen. Like you'll give yourself a good partner. You'll give yourself a good mind to play no one with bad news, but you'll have good news in return. And you'll also give yourself good news overall with love, sex, marriage, and money. Many times over, money, 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 because wealth is driven in your bloodline, but it's also ready to be given out to you through the karmic values of your heart and your soul. Because murmuring in your mind right now is your dad saying he doesn't know how to give you anything, but money is something he could have gave you easy if he just took the time to give it to you. Now he's in spirit. He wouldn't want to know that he's not giving it to you, but he warns himself not to get in your way or step on your toes, because you could also marry someone to give yourself good news in that department. However, it says you're not worried about that. You're more so wanting to know you can bring it on your own. However, it says it's not going to work out in his favor to give you that, because he's very jealous, he's very crude, and he's very mind gamed in his mind on how he wants to give you money. It doesn't say that he wants to give it to you directly or even help you get it. It says he knows that he was nasty in that way when he asked you to do things like go through loops and hoops just to get his mind to help you get money. And it says he's never going to win a lottery or give you good news in that way. So you wouldn't have to ask him for any lottery winnings or any bingo winnings or anything. He's not going to give you that in life. However, it says you've got ancestors that will help you directly in the seas. Okay, those seas are not really to be spoken about right now. Those seas are to be looked at in a later time. However, it says it won't come about so easy unless you do something to get it. But it says you're not going to look at it in any bad way. So you got to speak to things in your mindset about it, like people that can help you get money in a way that it's lawful or helpful to God or helpful in other ways, or even just pray about it because it will come about eventually. Okay, it says not really often, but someone here surged the energy around you. And it says only because you witness things in your mind about it. It says seeing you and believing that you will win is not easy, but I warn myself to give myself good news when you do. Can you trouble your mind on winning a lot more than you need to? Because I need to know that you stay away from me. It says I will gladly do this because I want myself to stay away from you anyway. Hence why I wouldn't want to be on your benefit system or even on your mind paying too much taxes. After all, if I'm a winner, I wouldn't have to pay too much taxes. I realize this. I'm a winner of millions and millions and millions. Why would I have to even pay taxes for some people? Some people that are owners of huge, jolts of money, like huge vaults of money even. huge bank accounts of money, ideally millionaires and billionaires. These people don't have to pay taxes, or some of them don't even have to pay too much taxes. So why would I even care? Like, I don't want to have to pay taxes one day. And maybe if I had to pay any sort of taxes, I'd be given to charity. Those are my taxes, given back to the community as a philanthropist. I wouldn't want to know that I'm deceptive about it either. I would want to hear that I've got good news to help myself around life and help people. But I don't want to know that I'm deceptive doing so. So I'm warning myself to learn about it, philanthropy. And that's something that I want to know that I can do or help people one day. Okay. So therefore, I will see things in my own right, and I will witness things in my own way, and I'll see troubles not come to me through this because I'm helping people in life to break the curse in their life to give them good news. Okay. It says, no one's troubling you more than a church right now. Try to give some money to your church. Ideally, you may want to know that you're helping the church in some way so that they can bless you forward. It says some of them do not bless you forward. Some of them will bless you forward, but some of them will curse you if you're not given enough. So just be mindful. And it says some of you guys witness this around you with churches that don't really give you much in your minds, but will help you in reality, or not help you much in reality because you have to be poor. But sometimes you have to witness things in your mind to be blessed. So you got to see things on a level of being blessed. Okay. It says, I know I wouldn't want to look at you. I would see myself in a problem. But it says all this time, a man doesn't want to see you in a problem. He witnessed things around his mind right now to go home or go to his, African country. For some of you guys, this is an African man. He could even be living in Ghana or the UK right now. Some of you guys, he's living in Togo, or he's living in Afghanistan, or living in a legal country as well, whatever that means to him. I don't know. It says some of you guys could be dealing with a man from Haiti or Guyanese man. He says he doesn't know why he's even bothering his mind around things, but he looks at things too deeply. So right now he's punishing his mind around a Bermuda Triangle. He's trying to look at it to see what kind of curses are in there or what's bothering people from that triangle. It says hence why he needs to look at portals or things that are coming out of it, or things he can use as spells or magic to warn other people that he's very potent in his obia or his witchcraft, or even things that he's doing in his bloodline magic. It says he knows that he needs to stop, but he can't help it, and he can't witchcraft people enough. So it says he will get bad news from this because it's going to backfire on him 10 times over, and he'll warn himself to go home and never look back into any Ghana magic again or any witchcraft again. It says he will time himself to move on from this problem and stop holding people down to a stake to punish their heads on his, because he's warned already to let go of someone and he doesn't know how to do it yet. Hence why he's looking at Bermuda triangles. He's a weirdo, okay? It says it may not work for him at all. So try to worry yourself no more. Yeah, don't witness things in your mind to say, I'm worrying. Allow him to think, what the hell is he doing? And move on, because the angels are guiding you to move on past the problem with his head looked at as funny, like he needs help. He needs mental health. It's not going to be easy to solve his problem. He's got mental problems to deal with. Now it says any of you that want to witness things around the law. However, it says you've got to witness things around the law in your own name. It says your name is not coming up in any law book of any bad news, nor will it ever. For some of you guys reading this, it will not come out in no bad news. You'll have to see yourself in a law with a problem though. Personal problem of his. It says a troubled child. And it says only because there's a man that wants you to see it that way, not because it's coming out in that way. It says this man knows he hasn't seen his son or his daughter in years and may want to challenge you through custody battles, or maybe even bring laws into your mind. But it says he has to go through the law of his own. Anytime he comes to you with any problems, you will deal with him. It says try to move on past him. He's negative, he's evil, and he wonders why he's even looking at you in that way, because he's got karma. And it's as simple as that. He's got karma. And it says no wonder you're tired of the situation. He's got to move on and panic on why he doesn't need to love anybody, because he's troubling his mind right now on why he needs to love you or someone else. He just needs to move on. MIA, move on. Okay. And it doesn't say why he's even ghosted his head around you, because he says, once upon a time, I told you I was ghost. Hence why I've never seen you since then. Why is it I can't get to see you? Well, maybe you're not meant to see her. Maybe your troubles lies in the mindset of a man that wanted to know that he was going to see you no more. Ideally, it says this is this man and he's my father. Maybe it's him. Or maybe it's the father figure that died. And you said that you gave me a child based on his head. Maybe it's that. Maybe that's the reason why he was meant to die. And it was telling me all this years that he was going to die, because he kept telling me, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. But it says your mindset came and replaced his for me and was showing me this through your venom. Letting me know that there was a child that was gonna die as well. Hence why that was my child that kept killing his mindset around mine, saying, Mum, I don't mean it. I don't want to know that I'm gonna die. And I had to save my child from death. Okay, because people around him were saying, oh, he's trying to say he wants to die. But it says, warning, my son is repeating something in spiritual. It's not anything real. And I know this. Okay, hence why I've come about now. I've had to say it, but I don't mean it. I don't want this for my life. And I know this. So I don't want to ever hear these things again. So stop transpiring in my head around it. Because I don't want to have to kill myself. I don't want my child to kill himself. And I don't want to hear that anyone around me is killing themselves. I don't want to hear it. Period. Point blank, period. I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone. Leave that out of my bloodline. Leave that out of my head. Leave that out of my karma. Leave that out of me. Okay? It says people that do this may have to do it in a way that they are troubling me and my bloodline, troubling me and my family, troubling me and mine, troubling me in my womb. Yeah? Anything that comes out of my womb and I love it, you are troubled by this energy, not me. Yeah? Anyone that's troubling my womb or things that are coming out of it, you are troubled by this energy. Not me and mine. Not me and my womb. Not me and my bloodline children. No. Okay. And it says some of you guys are witnessing this in your mind because it says problems are there with your family and your father's side of family. But it says your mother played a good role, didn't she? She didn't know why she had to pick on the mindset of yours to look closer into it like that. But she played a good role. It says she didn't know that she was going to find a man that was going to talk about it so much. But he played a good role. And it says he knows that he played a good role because he wanted to become that. And it says hence why I wanted him to. I'm your father. But it says, why do you keep looking at me with evil eye, Dad? Why does your father keep looking at you with evil eye? It says, because I play a good role. Don't you know that I was meant to sleep and maybe go off to sleep for long? And it says, why was you meant to go off to sleep for long? Because I am your father. But it says that doesn't make sense. This man is toxic. This man that's meant to be with your father right now in spirit, hence why he does voodoo, witchcraft, black magic, all these kind of demons. It says he's meant to go off to sleep. It's not that your father is meant to go off to sleep in a way that he's not going to wake up and then he's talking to your mind about it again and again. He's playing a role to be your dad, but he's supposed to go off to sleep in a way that karma comes to him because of his bloodline. He's using bloodline magic in your family to play a role around your head. It says karma is around his bloodline, not your father's. Even if your father wanted you dead, say for instance, he's not going to use another man to do it. He's not going to use your mum's new partner to do it. He would want it to happen based on the fact that he needed it to happen for himself. So his spirit would say, I wish that it would happen. It wouldn't have to go around looking for another man to do it. Hence why you're like, this is suspicious. Is it really you, Dad, that wanted me to pass out when I said I wanted to jump off a building or maybe hurt myself in a way that I kill myself? Maybe jump off a cliff or jump off a bridge, you know? Maybe I had to look at it in why. Okay? Why do I want to do that? It says there's karma there around that. And it says the mindset is telling you that because it's not. Don't listen to that evil voice in your head telling you it's karma, it is, blah, 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 blah. It's not. This is the energy in Pisces that he's been looking for as well. He's been looking for energies in Pisces to put you in a tomb. Hence why there's a risen from the dead. He wants to raise your spirit after you're dead for a ritual. It says there's karma with that. He wants to use you as a blood sacrifice, to use you in his mindset about rituals happening in his native land. He could be African. He could be Afghanistan. He could be in some other place. It could be Dubai, but it's not really Dubai. It could be Afghanistan or Asia, or maybe some other country in like a third world type of poor country, or maybe even a poverty country where there's more poverty. Or maybe in the Ashanti towns, you know, where there's poverty in the Ashanti towns in certain countries. Okay? It could be where the gutter is, where the valleys are dark and mean and evil, where there's dust on the floor still, there's no real roads. Okay? Or maybe these roads are fixed by the laws, but they're not really fixed. It could be just the mindset of the poor man. Yeah, in any country. All right? But maybe in those third world countries. Okay, it says it's not going to be easy to decipher why this man wants you dead, because he realized he doesn't want to be honest with you, but the information's coming to you like a red flag. Try to warn yourself. The red flag is there. He knows what it is. You know what it is. Jinns could come out the wall and tell you what it is. Yeah, evil spirits could come out the wall and tell you what it is. Karma could come with the angels and telling you, yes, this is what it is, and they're scared as hell, but they got to help you through it. They got to help you through it. Karma's there. It says this person doesn't want to speak to you directly about it, but the energy is there for it. The information just keeps flooding your mind. He's using me as a blood sacrifice. He's using me as a blood sacrifice. He's using me as a blood sacrifice. That's what it is. He's trying to use me to conjure up spirits and make sure that I'm one of them. Because he always uses spirits and ghosts to panic around my head. But he also uses that as an energy to beat me down. Why? Because he needs spirits to keep him going. This is an energy that he doesn't necessarily need because it's not inspiring him to be anything great in life. He hasn't come up in any way. He's not a rich man even. He doesn't have any gold or silver or properties or adventures around the world and, all these different women or he doesn't have anything going for himself. He just feels like he needs to play around spirits. Hence why he's looking at the Bermuda Triangle. This is a madman. He's a madman. In his community, he's known as a madman as well through the mindset of a woman that knows him very closely. She's mad too, though. Oh, she's very mad. And this woman, she has 2 children with him and she's mad. And he's made his way around to see you and look at you as a punishment. But he seeks you through a parent of yours. A kind-hearted mother is what she calls herself. That's never kind. For her to know what's going on as well and dealing with you in a wicked hand, it says bad news for this woman always. She's going to see what happens in the retrograde next year. It says this retrograde is calm on her right now. It's not going to be that bad. It has to tame things there in your mindset and make you look at things twice. But it says karma's with this one. She's going to get karma. Hence why they want you to get it. But you're not getting it. It says you're not going to ever get this karma until you have to deal with the mindset of theirs being punished. Ideally, I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm mad at this situation. What's going to happen? No, you're not sitting there like no frigging fool. Your name ain't Kunamuno. You're not allowing the situation to take you down. You're going to speak to your God about it. Hence why you pray to God and you never want to know that Satan is by your side. You always want to know that good news will come to you and you'll pray that good news comes always through Jesus Christ. But it says Satan is with this because he realized that he's looking at Satan's realm and it's next to God. But that's his omen. That's his prerogative. It's not yours. Hence why Jesus is there is what he says. Well, Jesus might be there. But I'm telling you something. You look at the negative aspects. I will look at the positive. And you punish yourself and not me because I'm never going down with you in that Bermuda Triangle. You go down there on your own. Yeah? Let me not even call it out in my head. You bloody call it out in your head and punish yourself. Evil witchcraft man. He says he doesn't know why he's even punishing you so hard because he realized he can't have problems with you overall. It's never going to be easy to get past this evil mindset that he has. During this retrograde, you'll see that problem subside. It doesn't come to you. It's like you've got good news. All the problems that you have is to look for money. Maybe even not really that so much. It might be a boring retrograde. It might be just the fact that you need to go out and look good. Have fun. Dress up. Enjoy yourself. Be a Pisces energy a little bit and hide if you have to. Just until it blows over, and try and warn yourself to look and see what energies you could give yourself good news in this retrograde as well. Hence why we will do a general reading based around energies that you can hide in. And it says this, it's coming up soon. So that's going to be all your readings transpiring. So everything's going to work out in your favor in the next week or 2, and maybe even witnessing something from the neighbor coming out of the reading as well. If it does come out in retrograde, it says she knows she's going to warn herself not to be a provoker around you, but she could come and give you time to look at yourself again. But it says you're only looking at yourself through her eyes, only because you have to do things to punish her when she's punishing you. Okay? Because she does things to provoke you. So you'll provoke her with the same energy and then you'll move on. It's nothing else. Same old saga, same old winning war. Because that's the only way you can win is to provoke her back. You know what I mean? It's not going to keep bothering your head. You've got other things to do. Okay? And it says nothing set in stone with the energy being bored, but she could provoke you with another mindset, which is another person. Boo-hoo. Keep trying, bitch. Excuse my language, but keep trying. Because nothing's going to set in stone that I'm going to be like, yes, master, you're winning. No, it's not going to work out like that. You're not going to beg for her to have good news over your head. You're not going to beg for her forgiveness. You're not going to beg for her to have masterminds over your head. You're not going to beg for nothing. You're going to look for your life and be like, yes, I did it. Great news is here in the retrograde. So all you need to do is park your nose on money. Make sure that you're doing things that relates to the past tense, things that you never really aspire to become, and warn yourself to line up things and make sure things is looking good and juicy and fruity and ready for the ending, which is come out the retrograde looking fine and well. Okay, doesn't say anything else. It says even then in the retrograde, people might come to you with a few little small payments, or maybe even money showing you that you've got money, or maybe even money that's to come. But it says warning you not to really have much joint communions in people's head this retrograde, because it's not really a retrograde to play around in a way that you could see things come in, or it's more so it happens sporadically. And it says things will happen and aspire to be whatever they become. So it doesn't even feel like a retrograde, really. It just feels like an energy shift. But it says, warning, you feel stagnation? Go out there and have some fun. You feel a bit tired? Get some rest and go out there and have some fun even more. You know what I mean? Like, try to feel tired in a way that you've done something to feel tired for. Don't just feel tired for no reason. It just ends up being boredom. Okay? Try not to feel bored in this retrograde. Yeah, naturally in July energies, sometimes people can feel bored. It does happen a lot for people. Okay, try to get out there and enjoy yourself. Go out, have fun, let your hair down. You know, have a milkshake, someone says. Okay, someone says, bring all the boys to your yard, have fun, shake it off. You know, some of you guys may need to shake it off differently. Sexual energy, love and light, happiness, you know, a little rendezvous, a little flirtation. Some of you guys need to let your hair down differently in that way. But it says karma comes to someone like that as well. But it also says you will be better off in that way, because you probably needed to let go of something as well. For some of you guys that are letting go of a man or a woman, you probably need to let go of their energy. Go and have fun. Just enjoy the retrograde in that way. Maybe you need to let go of steam around that time. Okay? And see yourself in good news. It says Jane Doe energy is never going to come back and warn you that there's a problem. Okay, for some of you guys that know what that is, it is what it is. Jane Doe energy. It says some of you guys have been pretending to be something that you're not, or pretending around an energy, or looking at something in a way that you had to use Jane Doe. It says it's only because you do model energy sometimes, or things that you're trying to talk about to pertain to something else, and you're not going to say what it is directly with a person's real name. You'll use the name Jane Doe. So if this person is muddled and they don't understand, let them. They don't understand you completely, and they shouldn't be peeking on you, trolling you, watching you, or even trying to find that information on you 24/7. They need to let it go. It says karma comes to them like this. Let them continue to bruise their energy around what it is that you're doing in your personal and private life. It has nothing to do with them. They need to move on and laugh at the situation and make fun of their own life. It says karma comes to them if they are Sagittarius, Aquarius, Scorpio, or even Virgo, because some Scorpio energies are being a pain to you, but it says it's not really a pain to you. It could be a pain to a Virgo or an Aquarius. And it says Aquarius energy needs to let go of the head of a Scorpio because they're being punished right now. It says the punishment is coming to Aquarius so badly that it has to hold on to Scorpios to see if anything changes, and it's not changing. They just need to let go, like the Capricorn. The Capricorn needs to let go too. And they keep holding on to Capricorn's energy so tight to see if any good news is going to come, but it's not. They just need to let go and move on and allow God to take over their minds, their hearts, and their spirits, and to leave it alone. Karma comes to them. So I'll leave it there, my lovelies. I will speak to you in your next reading. Ciao for now. Bye.